Okay, hello all. In the previous lesson, we stopped in page 4, right? Asked you to fill up the table. So, we are going to move on to page 5 now. So, page 5 is asking you to plot the graph, okay, using the table above. So, the first step that I want you to do is to fill up the axis, okay, fill up the number like this. So, I've already completed the graph. I'll show you. So first, you need to fill up the number. How you draw the graph is this. First, you need to fill up the number on the x-axis, okay, the one that's horizontal, as well as the y-axis, the one that is vertical here. Okay, you need to fill in a number on them. Okay, and you must make sure that you write on the bigger thicker line so it is easier for us to see, and the gap must be consistent, and you label the center as 0. Okay, so the number goes from smallest to biggest. Okay, across here the number gets bigger, so you must go for 1 2 3 4 5 6. The other direction is -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, so same for the horizontal, the vertical axis. So I want you guys to do it, fill it up, complete the graph, draw a straight line and plot the points. The points must be plotted at the correct place. Like for example, this one, you need to check. This is actually 3,8, which means that this is my x value, this is my y value. Now, before you start drawing, can you move back to the previous page and look at this point? When x value is 3, my y value is 8. Then I go back to my table here. It's actually this. When my x value is 3, my y value is 8. So you must know how to plot a graph, okay? You need to know where to find the x and where to find the y axis. Okay, so here, actually you dotted line, you go up from the x. You see, this from the x, I go up. This from the y, I go across. And then the point that they meet would be my coordinate. Okay, so that's what the coordinate means. So I want you guys to draw and plot the graph according to what I have over here. Okay, you may pause the video until you finish drawing before you continue. Okay. Alright, in the next part, select any points on the straight line. Choose one point that is not in the table. And then after that, answer the questions. Do the coordinates satisfy the equation that you have written in question 1? So I'm going to just choose a random point that is not on the table. So if you look at the table here, I have my x value listed, but not all the x values are there. I'm going to just choose a random point. Let's say I choose, okay, I'm going to use blue color. I'm going to use black color, okay? So here, what if I choose this point? This point I've chosen, my x value is -2, and my y value is 3. So the coordinate of this point is -2 and 3. So let's do my calculation. Okay. Based on the equation that I have here from the previous question, okay, I need to refer to equation y equals to 5x plus 5. Okay, so I need to fill in the number here. When x equals to -2, okay, something that I've chosen, y will be equal to -2. I replace the x with the -2 that I've written. Then I will get that this is equals to 3. So, does it satisfy? You look at the number, -2, x is -2, and my y is equals to 3, which matches this. So therefore, answer is yes, it matches. You don't have to choose the same point as me. You can choose any point on the graph that is on the red color line. You will see that it works. So you might want to pause the video and try a separate value. Maybe you don't try this -2. Maybe you want to try this. What if I use my x as 1? Does my y equals to 6? You can test it out. Okay. So how many outputs are there for the y for every input of x? So you look at your equation. Your equation is y equals to x plus 5. How many, if I put in an x value in to the machine, okay, this is a function. I put an X value into the machine, how many Y output can I get? Can there be multiple output with one Y? With one X input, can there be multiple solution? Answer is no. For every X input, I must only plus 5. So there is actually only one output per one input. Okay? So essentially, a function is a relationship. Okay, highlight this. A function is a relationship between two variables, X and Y, such that every input X produces exactly one output Y. It can be written as an ordered pair, or it can be represented using words, okay, or equation, or table, or graph. So Y equals to X plus 5 has a name. We call it an equation. Okay. So let's move on to our next part. Put on your thinking cap. Page 6 now. Is the equation represented by the graph above a function? Is this a function or not? Now we go back to a definition of a function. What does function means? As mentioned just now, maybe you can write down, functions mean one input, which is X, gives one output, which is your Y. One X give you one Y output. So every X value only give you one output. That is the meaning of a function. So if I look at this equation, this graph over here, Y squared equals to X, is this a function? You may pause the video and think through first before I continue. Alright, so it is no, this is not a function. Why so? There are two values, okay, output values for Y, of Y, for each value of X when X is more than 0. Think about it. When I look at the graph, if I take the value 2, my X value, when I go across, I draw a line, I can actually cut 2 points. So for every X value that is more than 0, okay, can you imagine? For every X value that is more than 0, when I go and measure it, I can actually get 2Y output, because the X value, which is the line that you draw here, from X you go down or you go up, you will actually cut the graph, the line 2 times. So therefore it is not a function. A function means it can only cut 1 time for every single X value. Okay, so you go back to look at this one. If you look at the straight line, your line here will only cut the graph once. So therefore this is a function when it's a straight line. However, when it comes to this case, it is not a function, because a C shape like that actually means that your graph has 2 Y value for every X input. What about the second question? Is it possible for a function to have 2 input value of X with the same output value of Y? See, question 2 a little bit tricky. So they are asking that 2X value with the same Y value. So over here I see that for every X input, there are 2 Y output for question 1. Okay, so about question 2. For every 2 input value X, can I get the same output value Y? Okay, what kind of graph can I get? Can you try to sketch? My answer is yes, it is possible. Can you try? You might want to pause the video and try. Actually, the understanding is exactly the same, but you flip it the other way. They want the same output, okay, follow me here. They want the same output y value with two separate x value input. That means my y value is the same number that can come from two different x number. So the two different x number will result in the same y number after putting into the function. Okay, so after putting into a function, I get the same y number. In other words, I can have one y value which is anywhere along this line. This dotted line is the same y value, right? It's a horizontal line because it cuts here. So I can have a graph that look like this, because this graph has two separate x value but the same y value. Understand? It's a straight line, y value here that cuts through the graph. Okay, it cuts the graph two times. Same y value but different x value. Okay. Next, example 4. The equation of a function y is equals to 2x minus 3. Find the value of y when x is equals to 4. So now this is answering a more basic question whereby they ask you to find y with a given x value. So this is how you should write your working. Y equals to 2 bracket 4 minus 3. When you calculate, you get y equals to 5. Whereas the other one, they want to find x when y is given to negative 5. So I substitute negative 5 into the equation. I do some algebraic manipulation here. Okay, the negative 3 have to bring over, it become positive. So I'm going to write it nicely for you to see. Negative 5 plus 3 equals to 2x, because I have to plus 3 on both sides. Then I can cancel and cancel. So what I got here is 2x equals to negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Then I divide by 2 on both sides. Cancel, cancel. I get that my x is equal to negative 1. That's how I got my answer. Equation number 5. Same thing, they give you a fraction. So when x is 0, so let's do the question. But replace the x with a value 0. So anything multiplied by a 0 is 0. So a is just y equals to negative 2 over 5. Part B, when y is this. So negative 2 over 3 equals to negative 1 over 3x minus 2 over 5. You might want to pause the video and try yourself first and check my answer after that. Okay, I hope you guys have tried. So let's see how we can do this question. I want to isolate this. So I plus this to cancel the 2 over 5. I need to add that on the left hand side as well. Whatever that you do to the left, you must do to the right. Okay, so it's negative 2 over 3 plus 2 over 5 equals to negative 1 over 3x. Okay, we have a lot of fractions. So how we can do it is to make sure I have common denominator. So this one becomes 15 multiplied by 5. Negative 10 over 15 plus 6 over 15 equals to negative 1 over 3. Then I can combine them. So this one becomes negative 4 over 15 equals to negative 1 over 3 times x. So I want to find the answer here. What do? I divide both sides by negative 1 over 3, because this is the negative 1 over 3 multiplied by x. So I divide by the entire thing. And this whole thing, you can just key this into calculator. Put the bracket, remember. And you will get that x is equals to 4 over 5. Okay, that will be all. Please do your homework. I'll put up on Microsoft Teams for you to submit your work. Please finish it by the 10th August and submit online. Okay, thank you very much.